Lianna. Thank you for letting me have this conversation with you for just a few minutes today. Would you let the folks that are listening here get to know you just a little bit, who you are, that kind of stuff?
So Lianna Kinard, Vice President of Marketing for the Buckner Company. We are a local insurance firm here in Salt Lake City, Utah, but we have 7 offices scattered throughout the West. And usually when I tell people I'm in the insurance industry, it clears room. Nobody thinks insurance is fun or sexy, and so I hope some of the things we share today will help everybody.
I think insurance is very sexy. It's one of the most sexy industries. So with all of that natural allure and whatnot, and you're scattered throughout the West, what are some ways that you are engaging with your prospects and clients and different folks that you need to work with?
So one thing that our firm has done exceptionally well is we have a component to our firm called Buckner Connect. It's something that we had asked clients about and said, what would bring value doing business with us? What would do value? We know we do insurance, but is there anything that we could do? And the number one thing that came back over and over was relationships. We know all our clients, but they didn't know each other. And so we came up with this idea if we could get some of our clients together a few times a year and they got to know each other, that our company would be stronger for it. And so that is one way we've engaged with our clients. Now, we do events maybe 6 to 7 times a year, but with COVID it's changed. But that's one of the things that we do that helps set us apart and that has been extremely successful.
So you heard from some of your clients that participated in Buckner Connects. Have they come back and given you any feedback? What is their response?
So the very first event we did, we kind of just tested it out. We wanted to try something different. We got 100 CEOs together and we put them in a room and we said, let's see what happens. And we didn't talk about insurance because they know we do insurance. And what we wanted to do is create real, authentic relationships between individuals. What happened that day was pure magic. We left and one of our clients made 4 or 5 contacts and ended up doing work with 3 or 4 different subs. And when we surveyed those people, they said, you need to do this again. The next event that followed, we had 350 executives attend. Now, granted, they're both relationship events, but the integrity of them changed. The first one was very intimate and people left with friends. The second one was kind of chaotic, not in a bad way, but the intimate setting kind of had left. It became this real big event. So we found that our sweet spot was those smaller, intimate events. So part of the reason we're here filming at Hale Center Theater today is this is where most of our events are here in Utah. We love changing it up and thinking outside the box. And again, at the end of the day, our big job is to make sure that our clients feel valued and that they feel loved and appreciated and that they belong to our network and they're part of our company.
So you're hosting big, amazing events. So post that 350 one that you went back to some smaller events. Mm-hmm. What were some of the differences that you saw with the folks that came to that, or what was some of the feedback that way?
So some of our sales guys at the larger event loved it. They could invite more people, people met more people, there was some buzz around it. And again, when you say insurance events, like people are like, oh, what is it? We had Frank Abagnale from Catch Me If You Can, the real Frank Abagnale, come out to Utah. And I'm like, where can we do this that would resonate with people with the movie? And he, played this con man as a pilot. So we rented an airport hangar out. We had private planes in there. We had Tesla came and brought some of their cars, drive it like he stole it. And it was fun and it was pizzazzy and there was swagger and everyone had a good time. But again, some of the events that we've done on a smaller scale, like here at the theater, people left with 6 solid friends that they saw after that event. But again, the Frank Abagnale event, no one really wants to talk about cyber insurance. That's not something that, normal people talk about every day. So we thought, what could we do that could kind of touch on cyber, but make it cool, fun, and sexy? And so Frank Abagnale, who is the director of the FBI in DC, basically told everyone how easy it is to steal from people. He explained the billions of dollars of fraud going on and the point of contacts that people can steal from you. And he basically said the things that cross his desk are in the millions and billions of dollars, and all you need is to get a good insurance policy. So our cyber sales were awesome that month. But again, it's kind of changing the realm of how to engage with people. If I just called you and talked about cyber, not so cool. We create this event with, Mr. Abagnale, and all of a sudden people are interested. And again, it's our job to create that environment so that people can engage with one another and with your company.
So I love that, and it to me it actually makes cybersecurity seem interesting and fun and cool when you hear about it from a perspective that has such a rich story and all that really interesting stuff behind it. So the trick is, so now everybody watching this thing today is watching on the same 23-inch screen. COVID hits. I know it changed some of the plans that you were able to do at the theater here in terms of gathering people together. How are you adapting things now to still give them a personal feel, to make them feel like they can have the 6 friends, to make them feel like they can be interested in a topic that they otherwise just don't want to take the time to listen to, and those kinds of things? What are you doing to adapt to that in these times?
COVID came out of kind of not nowhere. I think we knew it was coming. I don't think anyone understood the effect it would take on everybody, on every industry. I can say that my team, when we sat down and met with one another, you can do 3 things. We could have just canceled, altered, or adapted. And we chose to adapt. We had a wellness summit that we had planned for 8 months. And we put a lot of time, energy, we booked speakers, the venue. We had this vision of what it would be for someone to attend this. And as time went on and the regulations kept changing and the numbers were going down and the mask requirement and the food requirement, we sat down and said, hey, is this something we believe in? And the answer was yes. Is it something we want to cancel? No. So where does that leave us, right? The one thing I want to tell people is, in order to engage demand, you have to be engaged. If we had continued on this Wellness Summit plan and just kept thinking of all the problems, and that's the only energy that we put into it, it would have been an event full of problems. So instead, we were very solution-based. How can we make this cool? How can we edit it? How can we alter it? How can we engage that same interaction, but now to a broader audience? Again, at Buckner, we've always focused on the quality. It's never been quantity. Let's just send things out to the masses. It is, how do we craft a message and make people feel that they belong and that they are loved and valued? So going back to the Wellness Summit, we saved a lot of money by not having guests there, right? So that was a positive. How can we take that now and manipulate it or change it to engage with our clients in a different way because they can't physically be there? So some of the things that we did, we canceled everybody. The only people that were on film that day was the film crew, my immediate team, the speakers, and like 3 sponsors. There were no more than 10 people in an entire facility at any one time. It was very, very small crew, and we were wearing a lot of different hats that day. But for example, we had 2 chefs come and talk about, eating healthy and being well, and they have a new product that came out. And I said, okay, since people can't come here and taste it, why don't we send the product to everybody who registers? And that way, hey, come and register, learn a little tips and tricks, and then we're gonna send it so that you can actually do it at home. How can we engage outside of this virtual world? And there's always a call to action. Another one that we did, our keynote speaker, Colin, he wrote a book, and we said, okay, great, let's have him interact online with some of our clients and prospects. And he did, and he interacted with people. We sent his books out that were autographed. Some of them were personalized. Again, extending it through the virtual world and making it real, that 2 days later, they got a little gift from Buckner and, with a little message saying, thank you so much for participating with us. We still care, and hey, we have a session next week. Now, is it perfect? Is it what we thought? No. Did it turn out better than we expected? Yes. I can say our original plan was to have 150 guests there. Our first video, and I know this is not thousands and thousands, but again, we're insurance. Our original event was 100 people, 150. We had over 1,100 watch the first episode. So again, we drove down that cost, right? We still engaged, and we had 10 times the amount of viewers. So again, I think when things happen in life, the one thing that we all have in common is a choice. We have a choice. We have a choice to hey, this is really not ideal. This is not what we thought we wanted. But what can we do with it? What can we create? How can we adapt? We would have never done a virtual event had COVID not happened. And now we're like, oh my gosh, all my clients in the surrounding states have access to this. My clients that are across the globe can now watch this. And so again, I think there are these little gifts that we get in life. Anytime there's a trial or an error, that something good can come of it. And what is it that we're learning? And the last thing would be too is your team. Your team is so important. And to have everyone moving in the same direction on the same train at the same speed to make sure that we're all in this, we're all going to make this great, and we're all going to contribute.
On the same train.
Yes.
We're on the set of a train set right now for Murder in the Orient Express.
Yes, we are.
Which is just another little fun thing versus the regular backdrop on the Zoom call. I love listening to that because I feel like were I tied to a company that does this virtual thing and magically something shows up on my door next to my Amazon boxes, that somehow it would build trust in my soul that feels like the company that is so important for what I'm doing is put together, cares about me, is moving forward, is all these things. I think that's awesome to hear. What types of ideas would you have? What advice would you give to people who need to get this messaging out, who need to build this trust relationship, these types of things? Are there any things that kind of pop up?
I think a couple things is be proactive, not reactive. I think in the beginning we were all reactive. Now we kind of know our playing field, we know our environment. How can we be proactive? Second is realistic expectations, right? What are my realistic expectations? What can and can't we do? And how do we work around that? How do we be creative and agile and change? And I think lastly is, again, back to your team. I've never worked with an event planner in my life. I've done events for 12 years in the insurance world. And with this virtual summit, it was a realm I haven't been in. And I know, and my team knew, we need an expert. And so we brought an expert in. And sometimes there's stuff that we're not good at. If you're not good at tech, bring in a tech company, bring in those partners that will help boost you and be better, because partnership is everything. And we appreciate Health Center Theater as one of our beloved partners. You guys have been such a good partner to us. And if anyone hasn't been to the theater, we encourage you to come. It's amazing. So.
Thanks, Lianna.
Yay.